Hey everyone, I'm back with more FF14. So, I just read a quick article snippet. So, FF14 is currently doing a promotion with Mountain Dew, of all things, and you can get a Mountain Zoo mount if you do. Get select codes from various Mountain Dew products. Anyway, but more importantly than that, the Mountain Dew is paying an employee to play through Final Fantasy XIV, all its expansions, and they have a character named Big Sippin', who gives out prizes and stuff. It's actually a pretty interesting promotional idea. Big Sippin'. Alright, Minfilia. Hit your tires there. Welcome back, Miro. I'm reliably informed to investigate the investigation you took to Quarry Mill and Little Alamigo. So tell me, were you able to learn all about Lahabrea? Planted the knowledge of summoning in impressionable young minds, you say. Precisely the kind of deception the Ascians would employ. While many of the ills that all the land can be attributed to the calamity, some are brought about by a malign will. We must needs delve deeper into this while things remain quiet on the primal front. All work and no play makes Minfilia a dull scion. Did you say something? Nothing, my lady. She fucking runs. Mayhap we bother rest a while before speaking further to the investigation. I'll get the... Minfilia has another lead for you to pursue. While you were attending to business in Thanalan, some new information arrived courtesy of our friends the Sylphs. An individual fitting Lahabrea's description has been sighted in the North Shroud. This sighting comes in the wake of a series of mysterious deaths in the selfsame area. My instinct tells me that our man is involved. I would have you continue your investigation where you left off. 12 willing, and we will pick up Lahabrea's chair once more. Neuraxia can furnish you with the details. Pray speak with her and take it from there. As always, be careful out there, Miro. Okay, so you guys recall, Neuraxia is the sylph that came to stay with the Scions. It's Clive. Walking One isn't to investigate Sinister One? Then heed well this one's words. This one is friends with a Walking One in the Ash Crown's consortium. According to Friendly One, a Digging One named Medred had encountered with a scary Masked One. This Masked One is most certainly Sinister One. Walked One should go and speak with Digging One Medred. Digging One is found at Fallgourd Float in North Shroud. Okay, we haven't actually been to North Shroud, so I think we should go to Ul'dah or... not Ul'dah, Gridania or Central. Let's start Central Shroud first. I don't remember the exact way into North Shroud. I think you get there from either Gridania or Central Shroud. Over there, okay. Looks like we gotta get there through Gridania anyway, so... let's go teleport to Gridania. Wait, no, hang on. No, we don't. We just gotta go over there. Okay. Sorry, guys. It's been a bit since I've had to go over to there by foot. All right, so we go up here. Oh, the distortions today, the audio distortions are really bad. I wish I knew how to get rid of them. Like, can you guys hear that? And the land here got ripped to shreds. Oh, it's not that mount that's causing it. Yeah, these Spriggans hate me. I got so many of them. There you go. We're now in North Shroud. As you can see, North Shroud is quite a bit more craggy and rocky than the other areas of Thanalan, or of the Shroud. But that's just this part of it. There's still quite a few foresty areas too. Look at that. Kinda neat. Wood Whalers, and here's Fallgourd Float, or Fallgourd Float. This time we're not gonna forget to attune to the 8th rite. Okay. Talk to the Choco Keep, and then we'll talk to Wilred. Medred. Hey there, Medred. But please leave me be. I'm not long for this world. I look death in the face. It's only a matter of time before he comes for me. Just like he came for that poor woman. Medred is clearly traumatized. Perhaps if you were to soothe him, he might remain calm long enough to hold a conversation. You're right. It's not as bad as it seems. I saw something terrible. That's true, but that hardly means I'm going to suffer the same fate. Thanks to you, I can think straight again. I believe I can even recount what I saw without losing it. It was just another ordinary day. I was heading back to the float when I noticed a suspicious character in the distance. A masked man garbed head to toe in black. He had a hideous fiend in tow, a winged creature that was all eyeball and jagged teeth. Taken by curiosity, I crept as near as I dared. To see a corpse of a woman. One glimpse was enough to tell me that she died a gruesome death. In that instance, I knew right away that the masked man was a minion of Thal. Kale come to claim her soul for his realm. What? You're investigating the same masked man? If that's the case, we'll help you in whatever way we can. Aye, anything to ensure that we won't have to suffer Medred's hysteria over again. Alright, teamwork. That's what I wanted to... Wait, I haven't been that bad, have I? At any rate, I'm all for helping this adventure. It's the least I can do to repay her for comforting me. Okay, 18. She's got a pipe. So here's what I know about the deaths. All the victims were found with their faces torn to shreds. Among the local fauna, only the scalekin known as the Ziz could inflict such wounds. That's why some folk are pointing their fingers at them. I somehow doubt that the answer is that simple, but for the sake of thoroughness, we should look into it. Why don't you put down, say, 3 of the creatures and see if you can find any proof connecting them to death? Okay, they want me to kill 3 Ziz. You know what? Sure. Our black mage squirmels here. Well, Bob Doll, actually. Squirmels is the name of the chocobo on my main. There's some Bane mites. I see the Ziz up there. We gotta go up and around now. Okay. Oh, so of course a fate here. Alright, before we can do that, if that gets rid of them. So this fate is one of those collection fates I told you about. See the symbol there, like a little bag? What you gotta do is you gotta collect the little symbols and turn them into somebody around here. Anyway. You can also grab the gold fragments off the ground or defeat the golems to get them. There you go. We defeated 3, now we gotta go back and turn in this quest. Okay. Well, so far so good. I ran out there to slay 3 Ziz and I'm now back. You've already seen to the Ziz? Good work, adventurer. So were you able to find aught to suggest the creatures are our culprits? Nothing. Truth be told, even if there were proof, I wouldn't know what it would look like. Anyway, I believe we could safely strike Ziz from our list of suspects, which leaves us with the masked man and his winged eyeball. There's something else I heard about the deaths. It appears all the victims have been comely maidens. I'd better watch myself, eh? Unseemly japes aside, there's a rumor going around that there's some, as whispered, that after each victim died, her rancor went into the great big rock southwest of here, causing it to flash and moan. This bears investigating, I reckon. I'm gonna give you a fire sand stick to blow off a piece of that crag. The stick doesn't come with a fuse or anything, so you'll have to throw the thing. Once you've torn the rock a new one, bring back some of the fragments. I'll give them a gander. And seeing eye to winged eye. There's something you should know. I've been keeping this to myself, lest I worsen Medred's paranoia, but I too have seen the winged eyeball. I cannot say whether it was coincidence, but my sighting took place precisely the same time as Medred's. I was heading home after a day of digging when I saw a shadow fell over me. Looking up, I found myself locked in a gaze with a giant eyeball. I let out a scream at the top of my lungs and ran without looking back. This happened to be the rocky area west of here, in case you had a mind to investigate. Alright, so guys, we're running into a winged eyeball and a masked man. Now, former Final Fantasy knowledge will tell us that it's probably an Ahriman, and the fact that we've actually ridden a Ahriman mount. So it may have been us they saw. Alright, let's go to the top one here first, and then we'll go to the bottom one. Not hearing those audio distortions anymore, so maybe it was tied to the ambient sound? That was just a guess on my part. Oh no, I failed the fate. Time to do some surveying. I don't see anything over here. You guys? Oh shit, a hostile presence. The Bane Mite. You dead. Okay, so we got some clay golems. Whatever the fuck that is. And then this here. We gotta toss a bomb at this, I think. Okay. Humming crystals. Okay, you don't need to make it take me so long to pick these up. Especially if you want me to grab 5 of them. Oh, fuck. Like 5 seconds per one here. Yeah. Also, look at the weather just shift like that. The same without the ambient noise. We don't get the rain sounds. It's too bad, but. Makes me sad. But since I know it is the ambient sound causing it now, perhaps there's something I can do to fix it. So I'll look that up after stream to see if I can determine it. Most folk are too scared to go within 100 yalms of the Rock of Rancor. Ah, it has a name. What's a few vengeful spirits to a dauntless adventurer like you, eh? The lightning aspect of crystal. Bigger than a shard, but not quite large enough to be a cluster. The energies emitted by this crystal lightly tingle in the hands of who touch it. Huh? Why, these are just your garden variety crystals. It's a bit hard to tell beneath all the dirt and grime, but they're definitely lightning aspected. I almost hate to say it, but that explains the flashing and moaning. Nothing to do with the masked stranger. Looks like I've gone and wasted both your time and a perfectly good fire stand sick. Oh well. A monstrous bane might appeared, and you slew it? That creature had long been a scourge upon the folk of Fallgourd. Intentional or no, you've done us a great service. You have my gratitude. But this does make me wonder. Was it truly a winged eyeball I saw, or merely a trick of light combined with pure blind panic? I feel like these guys are getting me to do their dirty work. Just leading me around by the nose to try and get me to do that. Oh, power of deduction. There have been no promising leads in the murders. I can scarce get a wink of sleep knowing that killer is still at large. Judging by your furrowed brows, I take it the sorry business troubles you as much as it does me. I've been pondering my encounter. I was uncertain for a time, but there can be no doubt. It was a winged eyeball that I witnessed. It's implausible that it could have been mistaken to so distinct a creature for a bane mite. But you and I were malms apart. How could we have both seen it at precisely the same time? What's more, our adventurer here had a run-in with the bane mite at the very spot you claimed to see that dangerous eyeball. Isn't that right? There must be an explanation. I know I saw an eyeball with wings. I would wager an apple tart on it. Oh, he's serious. But listen, mayhap it's not as mysterious as we're making it out to be. There's no reason why there couldn't be. Oh, of course. There must be more than one of the buggers. Oh, it's so obvious. But then that means, since there have been repeated sightings of these fiends, there must have been even more victims as yet undiscovered. I do believe we are out of our depth. We ought to leave the rest to the expert. Yes, we're just civilians after all. Good luck, adventurer. It was a pleasure knowing you. Well, I burn to know the truth. Some things are best left unknown. Lest you have forgotten, it was the rocky area to the west I had my encounter. Should you discover aught of note, you will want to alert the authorities. There is a guardhouse nearby. The serpents there should be pleased for any information that pertains to the security of the region. The serpents. Okay. So there should be more victims, they said. These wood whalers are just running around fighting. Oh, she's like way up there. I wonder if I gotta go through here to get there. It leads me up above. Yeah, what I'm looking for is actually down below. Okay. That's fine. A mangled corpse. And a floating eye. Lucky, lucky. It was an Ahriman. Look at that. Well, a type of Ahriman anyway. Got it. I feel like we should have brought the eye with us as well. Okay. Back into Fallgourd Float we go. Greetings, adventurer. Is there aught I might assist you with? The body of this poor soul has been defiled in more ways than one. Ugh. Gods be good. Not again. No matter how many bodies I see, I cannot seem to get used to the horrid sight. Poor woman. Identical deaths have been reported in the Central Shroud, while the masked stranger you seek does not seem to feature in any. Sightings of the winged eyeball are common enough. The creature appears to be moving the bodies, but to what end, none can say. Victims have all been young women. All are found with their faces mutilated beyond recognition. It's been difficult to identify them so as to notify their next of... This button engraved with a lily motif. It's the very same object that was found on another victim, a family sigil. Of that of an organization, perhaps? Either way, I dare to hope that this will prove vital and pivotal in solving the murders. We did it! Hey, mount speed in North Shroud has increased. Sick. I would have you hold the lily button. You'll need to continue your investigation. Well, it isn't standard procedure to trust key to evidence individuals. You have proven yourself reliable and resourceful in this matter. I see no reason why you shouldn't carry it on your work. If I might make it a suggestion, you may wish to take the button to Gridania and have it examined by Mion. Mayhap someone in her vast network of contacts can shed light upon the sigil. How do I feel about giant murderous eyeballs? Like, they need to calm down. Alright, let's see here. We're gonna go back to Gridania and talk to Mion. Jeremy, would you like to date Mion? And if not, would you like to date a giant murderous eyeball? Just a giant murderous one, not anything else. Good evening to you, Miro. By your grim expression, I suspect you aren't here for scones and herb tea. A lily sigil is carved in this tiny ivory button. Well, isn't this a lovely little button? The engraving is quite exquisite. Artisan level quality, I would say. What did you say you found this? On a dead body? Lovely. Anyway, I'm afraid I do not recognize the lily sigil. You will have to find the answer the old-fashioned way, by asking around. You could do worse than begin with Bernadette over by the Aetheryte Plaza. She has a sharp pair of eyes, that one. Honestly, giant murderous eyeballs scare you a lot less than miniature murderous eyeballs. Yeah? Why is that? Harder to see? Need help tracking down the owner of a button? That's certainly not a request I receive on a regular basis. Well, go on then. Show me what you have. Seems to be some manner of decorative button, reminiscent of those worn by the families of old, but I cannot claim to know its sigil. However, I can say with certainty that the White Lily is a recurring theme in Gridanian culture. Alas, I do not know who would make a personal sigil of it. If there is a soul in Gridania who does, it would be Singel over at the Lancers Guild. That woman makes a point of knowing all the citizens on a forename basis. The Saint also makes it a point to know all the citizens on a forename basis. In fact, he knows everyone in his town. So it's damn Temerians. Bernadette believes that I can help you. Well, that is a rather bold assumption to make. I will try to assist, never you fear, but whether aught comes of it is another matter. Now then, what do you require of me? Fascinating. Work of this quality is rarely seen in the hands of ordinary Gridanians. The owner of this button is most certainly well-to-do. You may wish to take your search to the Gentry's Ward, northwest of here. Wait, a memory comes to me. Of late there's been a man who is perpetually seated at the bench of the ward's entrance. His name is Ursendel, and I distinctly recall seeing a markedly similar button upon the breast of his jacket. I dare say he can tell you a thing or two about it. Okay. To be fair, I grew up in a town of 1800. I literally knew every family, if not every person. See, I grew up in a smaller town than that until I was 12. We had about 1,000 people in Berks Falls. And I can tell you I didn't know everybody in that town. Hey there, dude sitting in the rain. I do not believe we are acquainted. Pray, leave me to my thoughts. The sigil of the Dartencourt's family. How is it that you came to be in possession of this button? From the body of a murdered woman? Her face. Was it marred in any way? I had feared as much. I can no longer feign ignorance. You were feigning ignorance before? I shall reveal to you the truth of the deaths, but on one condition. You promise to put an end to my lady's madness and free her from her torment. Sass knew everyone in Ridgetown. I knew no one in Ridgetown. I was once a manservant in the employ of one of the oldest and proudest families in Gridania. I don't think you needed to say manservant. You could have just said manservant. You could have just said servant. That would have given... Anyway. The Dartencourts. During that time, I had the honor of waiting upon Lady Amandine, mistress of the household. Fair as the summer she was, and possessed of a heart befitting her radiance. Alas, the calamity wrought a great change in her. Though my lady escaped with her life, death may well have been her kinder fate. Never will I forget the day her bandages were removed, and she beheld her disfigured face for the first time. At that moment, the kindly woman I knew ceased to be. Unable to bear the thought of being seen, my lady sequestered herself within the chambers and refused to be all company. She continued for many uneasy moons, until one day, without warning, she began receiving queer guests. None among us knew whence they came, these masked men, but my lady believed that they would help her to regain that which she had lost. So began the rites of rejuvenation. These rituals seemed innocent enough in the beginning, but grew ever more grotesque as time went by. Eventually, there came a day when my lady bound one of her handmaids to her bed and proceeded to mutilate the poor girl's face. Suffice it to say, she did not survive the ordeal. It fell to me to dispose of her body. I performed the dreadful task as bade, obedient servant that I was, but when the time came to return to the house, my legs refused to move. I knew then that I could not go back to that place, not after that nightmare I had witnessed. So it was that I left Hawk Manor, my home for nigh on half a century. Long did I weep for the girl who was slain, longer still for the woman that Lady Amandine had been. Yet one cannot weep forever, and I endeavored to put the matter behind me. Indeed, I had resolved never to speak of my experience until you appeared before me. So he was content to just let this woman murder people. My lady's madness must be ended, lest more innocent lives be lost. Lay her tormented soul to rest, as you swore to me you would. She awaits you at Hawk Manor on the western edge of Central Shroud. Go now. Go and do what must be done. She was only kind until she stopped being hot. She wasn't that kind, my dude. Yeah. Okay. All right. There it is. Okay, so we bound over here before. Now we're gonna go up here. Here's one thing you'd like to know about this quest. All right. Hawk Manor is not that far from Gridania. How the fuck did nobody recognize the family crest until you found the sigil? Excellent question. And a fair question. Fuck these is. All I can say is because plot. This floating eye just hanging out here. Roughly, yep. So it's not like the family has been long unheard of. Dude, how the fuck did you egg come so far away? Damn, I only needed one hit. That is an excellent question, Jeremy. Alright, Hawk Manor is now accessible. It is break time though, so let's take a break and then we will come back and go into the dungeon. Don't go anywhere.